Hello and welcome. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. Today we're going to talk about cryptocurrency news. Bitcoin just hit $8,500, crypto-taxation, and China launches a new crypto. So, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion. I'm not smarter than you. You are smarter than you realize. Do not trust what I say. Do your own research. That's always a good thing to do. So I provide links to the articles I'm going to show you. Since I don't cover the articles in detail, I'm going to let you read the articles yourself and come to your own conclusions. But I am going to share a little bit about my conclusions on some of these topics. So, $8,900, Bitcoin eyes major rebounds as bullish Confluence grows. Bitcoin BTC has been caught within the throes of volatility over the past several days and weeks, with this turbulent price action leading the cryptocurrency to surge as high as $8,300 yesterday. Well, today it just hit $8,557 the last time I looked, before incurring a significant amount of selling pressure that briefly pushed it below its key support at $8,000. Buyers were able to defend against further downside, however, which ultimately led Bitcoin to rebound to its current price levels at $8,200. Analysts are now noting that the confluence of multiple separate factors suggests that Bitcoin is on the verge of seeing another major rally, which could lead it as high as $8,900 before it meets any significant region of resistance. And so it looks like this is quite likely to happen very, very quickly. I mean, with the move to 8,500, last I looked, it was $8,557. Bitcoin rose significantly and quickly to that level. And so how long will it take it to get to 8,900? Hard to say, but it's coming up pretty quickly, it looks like. An analyst who called the 2019 bear market believes Bitcoin is primed for massive gains. And so Dave the Wave, a popular cryptocurrency analyst on Twitter who accurately called nearly all of Bitcoin's major price movements in 2019, is now explaining that he believes 2020 is shaping up to be a great year for Bitcoin, offering as follows a chart that shows BTC on track to find itself caught within a major uptrend in the coming months. The data within the chart seems to indicate that Bitcoin is only a matter of months away from beginning its next parabolic ascent. Dave the Wave also predicted in a tweet from last month that Bitcoin could easily set fresh, sustainable all-time highs in the early part of 2020. So fresh, sustainable all-time high would mean that Bitcoin hits that $20,000 mark and stays above it. So let's take a look at his chart. So this is the chart that they're talking about. And this is 2015, this is 2019, and this is 2023. And so this green area is partially throughout a good portion of 2019, but it also stretches into 2021. And the blue area is a different potential analysis stretching all the way into 2023. And so this blue mark here, you can see that he has an algorithmic, a logarithmic chart that's going on here, because here this is 750, it jumps to 25, 75, 250, 750, 2,500, 8,022, 25,000, 75,000. So this line right here is a $75,000 mark. And he's basically essentially saying that he believes that by 2022, 2023, sometime in that ballpark, he's expecting Bitcoin to hit $75,000. But if you look at this blue area, I think this blue area is mostly what he's predicting for the near future in 2020 and 2021. You can see that it easily hits, this line here is the $25,000 line, which would be a new all-time high for Bitcoin, and continues up into greater numbers. In fact, this mark up here at the very tippy top is 225,000. So based on this chart, it may not be that far from hitting a $200,000 all-time high in the late 2025 type time frame. So I'm not sure exactly what he used in order to create these green lines, but you can see that they kind of narrow up over time, which does make sense. And if Bitcoin continues to do its parabolic runs, then we definitely could see some significant numbers. So again, this is not financial advice. This is my opinion. This is Dave the Wave's opinion. And so people are just sharing what they think is going to happen. So time will tell. We will see. Crypto-Taxation, imperfect, imposing, imperative. Cryptocurrencies are any digital currency with no central issuing regulating authority, one that exists only on a decentralized ledger called blockchain. Sounds clear enough, right? Well, not quite, if you consider how differently they are treated by tax agencies around the world. Nothing is better evidence of the global crypto confusion than an examination of how members of the J5, the Joint Chiefs of Global Tax Enforcement, view cryptocurrencies. On one hand, the United States and Australia, cryptocurrencies is classified as property and incur capital gains taxes. On the other hand, the Netherlands consider cryptocurrencies as goods, while countries such as the United Kingdom and Germany rule it on a case-by-case basis. And so, for Americans, there is no free lunch. If you're richer tomorrow than you were today because of cryptocurrency, it's likely you have some tax burden associated with that. The case of San Francisco Coinbase is a case in point. Exchanges and entities providing cryptocurrency transaction services are not specifically mandated to provide tax reports to users, but the likes of Coinbase had to provide a cost basis for taxes report to users after the IRS ordered it to turn over the data of over 13,000 customers. And so if you've used an exchange such as Coinbase, I did not expect to go to that website. Anyway, if you use an exchange like Coinbase or Gemini or Binance or one of the other cryptocurrency exchanges out there, those exchanges are quite likely turning data over to the IRS. In this case, Coinbase turned the data of 13,000 customers over to the IRS. And so if you're in the United States and you're transacting with cryptocurrencies, you want to make sure that you report those on your tax forms, because the IRS may already know about your cryptocurrency endeavors. So always a good thing to do. Now, U.S. and European regulators say crypto is a priority for 2020. Several regulations in the U.S. and Europe, regulators in the U.S. and Europe have made cryptocurrency among their top priorities this year. The Securities and Exchange Commission's Compliance Office and the European Securities and Market Authority, in collaboration with other regulators, have outlined their plans to focus on crypto oversight. Further, China's central bank has made digital currency a priority. So there's quite a bit of information in here about the United States, the United Kingdom, and how they're regulating cryptocurrencies. The Securities and Exchange Commission is getting more and more serious, and they are starting to view. Now, they've already come out and said that Bitcoin is not a regulated security, such as a stock or bonds or something like that. But they are looking at other cryptocurrencies as possibly falling under those kinds of guidelines. This week in crypto, new coins in China, crypto comes to the CES, and more. So Baidu launches Superchain cryptocurrency. Internet search engine giant Baidu, and that's a Chinese search engine giant, similar to Google, but it's specifically a Chinese search engine. this week launched a public beta of its cryptocurrency called Superchain. Needless to say, Superchain is compliant with the Chinese government and is not fully decentralized. It runs through a network of masternodes. So what they mean by not fully decentralized, a fully decentralized cryptocurrency is one that has, well, like with Bitcoin, if you wanted to create a node on Bitcoin that manages the network, anybody can download the software and run it on their computer. It's basically called mining, and there's different types of mining. You can just be a miner, or you could provide what's called a node, and a node is where several miners connect up to the node, and the node provides a higher level of cryptocurrency mining. Anyway, when it comes to China's Superchain, they're basically saying that this cryptocurrency is not fully decentralized, meaning the Chinese government is going to be running some of those nodes, and so it won't be completely an anonymous or a non-governmental cryptocurrency. So, Bitcoin is more decentralized in the sense that anybody can run a node. People are doing it all over the world. There's people in China, there's people in Europe, there's people in Russia and Iran, and all over the world. People are running Bitcoin mining operations and running Bitcoin nodes, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's all open source and freely available. Now, the open source blockchain supports applications. This is the Chinese Superchain, supports applications a little bit like Ethereum. It wants to help China leapfrog other countries in blockchain development. So what do they mean by leapfrog? Leapfrog here is the well-established Chinese strategy of developing new technology to overcome or sidestep a structural defect. For instance, China lacked credit cards, but became the world's leader in mobile payments via apps like WeChat. And so instead of China trying to compete with MasterCard and Visa, China went out and developed phone apps like WeChat, and WeChat has become one of the largest forms of payment. In fact, when you go into China, I haven't been, but I've heard from other people that have been, that the most common form of payment is to use your cell phone rather than a credit card. Whereas in the United States and many other countries, the most common form of payment is going to be done with a credit card or a debit card of some sort rather than cash. All right, so is cryptocurrency a security? So I kind of touched on this a moment ago. Many people argue that goes against the very nature of cryptocurrency, which are anonymous by design and are not governed by any single authority and aim to be free of decentralized regulation. So cryptocurrency is initially intended to be free of regulation, free of the governments, outside of government control. Unfortunately, the government, as Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole has grown, the government is, of course, stepping in and taking action to control it more and more. So the real question is, what is a security, and what cryptocurrencies, or is cryptocurrency a security? So security is a tradable financial asset that has monetary value. And this is according to the way the United States defines a security. It represents an ownership position in a publicly traded corporation via owning shares, a creditor relationship with a government body or a corporation via owning bonds, or rights to ownership as represented by an option. The legal definition of a security varies by jurisdiction. In the U.S., a security is a tradable financial asset of any kind. In the U.K., the FCA's definition of a security applies only to equities, debentures, alternative debentures, government and public securities, warrants, certificates representing certain securities, units, stakeholders, pension schemes, personal pension schemes, and rights to or interest in investments. So, the cryptocurrency security debate. The SEC chairman, Jay Clayton, has clarified that Bitcoin is not a security. In an interview with CNBC in June, he stated cryptocurrencies are a replacement for sovereign currencies. They replace the yen, the dollar, the euro with Bitcoin. That type of currency is not a security. Former CFTC Chairman Gary Gensler has also stated that Bitcoin cannot be classified as a security. He pointed out that Bitcoin came into existence as mining began as an incentive in validating a distributed platform with no initial token offering, no pre-mined coins, and no kind of common enterprise. So common enterprise meaning a business running behind it. There is no business that operates Bitcoin. Bitcoin has never sought public funds to develop its technology, and it does not pass the Howey test. The Howey test is a test that the Securities and Exchange Commission uses to determine whether or not a particular asset should come under securities laws, such as stocks and bonds and some of the other things. The position, what about Ethereum and Ripple? The position is less clear when it comes to other cryptocurrencies such as Ethereum and Ripple. However, Gensler has warned that more than 1,000 cryptocurrencies are probably operating outside of U.S. law and will have to come into regulatory compliance. He said that although Bitcoin is not a security, Ripple sure seems like a common enterprise. Because with Ripple, there is a business that's behind the Ripple, the XRP token. And they've done things that sounded, well, a council created by some of the major cryptocurrency exchanges, Crypto Ratings Council, seems to agree as it awarded XRP, or Ripple, a 4 out of 5 in matching the criteria considered to be a security. It pointed out that Ripple sold XRP before the token had any utility and used a securities-like language when promoting XRP. And so whether or not any specific cryptocurrency should be considered a security depends upon how that cryptocurrency was developed and introduced, and did they do any kind of initial coin offering? Were they selling it before different situations? And so all of that goes into account when they want to determine if a cryptocurrency is some form of a security. And it may be worth noting, because if you get involved in something like Ripple or one of the other cryptocurrencies that could be considered a security, the value of your token could be affected significantly if the SEC or some other governing body, such as the United States or the United Kingdom, Europe, etc., if some governing body decides to come in and classify it as some sort of security or a similar type asset, because then that suddenly puts lots of different regulations. They may have to pay fines. There could be all kinds of things that affect that cryptocurrency in a negative way. And so this is definitely something to keep an eye out for whatever cryptocurrency that you're dealing with or trading in. So, in conclusion, how can I be of service to you? Do you have any questions? Would you like to talk about something in a much deeper way than we did in this short video? Was there anything that I said that didn't make sense? Please leave comments below. In the meantime, I hope that you'll like, subscribe, and hodl. Have a fantastic day.